Hello, Scorpio. Welcome to your tarot reading here on Dove and Serpent Tarot. This is a timeless reading, which means whenever you happen to be watching this reading was meant to find you. Please hit the like button, leave a comment, and consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. Now, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, Scorpio, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And there is a 7 of Swords. Let's put that into some context, okay? We're going to use our Dove and Serpent spread. And as I do this, I would also like to say that if there's anything you need me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know in the comments. Okay, I read every comment, and it's the least that I can do for all of you is to offer my thoughts and prayers and positive energies, okay? So let's do our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. We're going to use the Rider-Waite-Smith. And this is the card that we set aside. We're not going to look at this card until the very end of the reading. And hopefully that frog will keep an eye on it, not let it go anywhere. And at the end of the reading, that will, tie everything together and give us the confirmation that we need. Okay? So looking around here, we see some fire energy, a lot of fire here, and air. Fire and air. Major arcana. We see some good earth, really good earth energy, and some water energy, the major arcana. So we've got significant fire, significant water, and we've got the harmonizing of the fire and the water into some really successful earth energy. I mean, we've got the Princess of Discs, and we've got her Ace of Discs, right? We've got kind of mother and child right there. And I think that that is a symbol, a metaphor for the way in which you are going to be manifesting whatever it is that's going on here. Let's see if we can find out. 7 of Swords. I think that you've been doubting yourself a little bit, to be honest with you. And I don't like that one bit. I don't think with the way this energy is configured right now, you don't really have a reason to doubt yourself, okay? And yeah, that's easy to say. But the reality of it is that you're having this kind of mental blockage. It could be this. Well, we're going to get to what it is in a minute. But the simple fact right now is that you're really trying to stay on task. You're trying to stay focused. You're trying to maintain your confidence. You're trying to do this damn thing, right? Whatever it is. You're trying to finish a project. Trying to get the job you want, trying to, do well on your exams at school, university, trying to get the promotion, trying to start your business, trying to finish your record, your album, trying to finish your piece of art that is your life, okay? Whatever it is, doesn't have to be stereotypically creative. It could be intellectual. It could be something like earth-based. It could be like building something, building a home, building a family, building a physical structure, hammer and nails kind of thing. Creativity comes in all forms, all shapes and sizes, right? All modalities and methods can be creative. So you're working on something, but you're having a difficult time maintaining focus, maintaining the confidence, believing in yourself. There are all these little small daggers, these little pins poking at you, right? You're trying to hold on to that Ace of Swords, right? That's what we're all trying to do. Just stick to what we've set out to do, right? Stick to our quest, whatever your quest is. So we're gripping our sword as tight as we can, right? But there are all these other little daggers, these little pins, kind of poking at us and picking at us. These could be demons of doubt. These could be distractions. These could be some, pessimistic thoughts. These could be other unforeseen coincidences, responsibilities, or things happening kind of externally that pull our attention away from our central quests, little side quests, you know. And I think that what you're really trying to do, the work that you're doing, the art that you're involved in, is represented by this art or temperance card, but we're going to go ahead and call it art, as it's called in the Thoth deck anyway. And that's what we're kind of talking about, the art. The art of you blending together this fire and the water, the active and the passive, the you and the everything else, right? The you and everything that's not you. It really is a kind of cosmic union, kind of a, you're painting the universe kind of thing, right? And, you know, these two kind of opposites, the fire and the water, we're going to get to them in more detail, okay? But the point here is that you're trying to accomplish this. You're trying to give expression to this kind of to this inner union, right? The combining of everything that you are into one expression, one thing, one. I mean, it could be more. It's maybe not just one object, but this one life, right? You're trying to really create yourself and your world and your universe, your reality, okay? So the Art or Temperance card is showing that this is kind of a challenging thing, right? We're trying to maybe do a little bit of this and a little bit of that, but God, if one thing or the other doesn't just take all of our attention away, right? This is internal work versus the external work. This is the professional responsibilities, but then the kind of personal responsibilities. This is your creativity, and this is also your kind of the business side of things. Or this is your active, energetic, enthusiastic energy, but then also your calm self-reflection, your kind of magnetic energy, right? You're trying to balance things. And it's a real delicate process. Whatever work you're doing, I think, is very delicate. There needs to be some kind of subtlety, some strategy here, right? Can't just be all fire and force, can't just be all water, can't just be, you know, all going with the flow, or not passivity, but yielding, right? Going with the current. Well, that's fine, but you also need to kind of direct things a little bit, right? So it's enough that you're in your boat and you're going with the current, but you got to have some kind of a paddle or a stick or whatever those really long poles are called to avoid danger, to make sure you take the right or left at the fork in the river or the rapids or whatever, you know. So there needs to be some direction. There needs to be a little fire too, and the water. So whatever you're doing is delicate, right? It takes skill to get this done properly. And I would like to know what you're doing if you want to leave some comments. I don't think it matters so much exactly what this is, but the way that you're going about it and the kind of success that you're going for, you know. That's what really matters here. And I think it might be different for all of you. You know, I think everybody has something a little bit different. What is your Ace of Swords? Well, that's unique to you. That's intensely personal, even though this may be something that the world gets to enjoy at some point, or at least your colleagues or classmates, coworkers, or your family. But it's something that is going to get a physical outward expression, right? And that's 7. There are obstacles, challenges. This is kind of like a test. Maybe the universe is saying, well, how committed are you? How firm of a grip do you have on your Ace of Swords? That will try to pull you in different directions and see how strong you really are. See what kind of metal you're really made of. In that sense, I like the Temperance title of the card, right? Tempering something in the furnace, in the fire, right? At the foundry, strengthening the metal by continuous exposure to heat, the fire, and cold, the water, right? What does the blacksmith do? Heats it up, cools it down, bangs it around a little bit. I don't know. It's probably a lot more technical than that. But fire and water, right? So I think that is how you are working on this, whatever project, whatever life, whatever reality you're building, whatever universe or world you're building. And in the recent past, or kind of what is behind you, or what led you here, because these readings are, like I said, timeless. It's not linear, right? So this could be the future still for you, or it could be something that's already happened. But the point is, this is behind you in the sense that it has brought you here, right? This has pushed you to where we are in the middle here with this Seven of Swords and this the Art or Temperance card. How did we get here? Well, that was through this 9, okay? The 9 of Wands is a strong card already. This is that long pole that you need to kind of steer the boat. I don't know what those things are called. A gondola or something. Maybe that's the boat itself. I'm not sure. But this is the strength of your will. This is your determination. This is your ability to do things, right? This is your doing, your ability to act, your willpower. What you will, you have the power to do. You have the power to steer the boat. And I think that this is what's behind you, because this is that big long pole that you are pushing the boat around with, that you're maneuvering with. And it could be that we maybe were overconfident going into this thing. Maybe we didn't really realize that there would be so many gosh darn challenges here, that it would be such a tempering fire that we'd be in. Challenge and challenge and challenge and difficulties and having to divert our attention somewhere else and then come back to it. And it's just a lot of fire and water. But you know what? We're getting stronger. We're strengthening this willpower by going into the fire and then back to the water, fire and water. Our willpower is getting quite strong. So this is always something that you need to hold on to. This is something that you need to rely on and understand that it needs to be as strong as possible. So even though this is a challenging situation, it's good for you. A little bit of challenge is good for all of us, because we kind of learn what our limits are and we learn how to get stronger. It's just like exercising in a gym, The will is kind of that spiritual muscle that we need to exercise. We need to strain it. Like when you're working out and you're lifting weights, you're creating micro tears in your muscles, It's through that kind of challenge, that kind of difficulty, that we're then able to grow and get stronger. Of course, it's the water that really is making us stronger, right? It's the cooling down, the recovery afterwards when things heal and repair. That creates stronger, bonds between the cells or whatever it is in the tissues. I imagine it's similar in blacksmithing. It's not the fire that strengthens you. It's the water, it's the cooling down, it's the healing and recovery after the fire, right? I think if there are any blacksmiths out there, let me know, because now I'm really curious. The issue with all of this, though, is too much fire. Here's the 10 of Wands at the top of the path of the dove. It could be too much. It could be overwhelming. Spending too much time in the fire, too much difficulty, too much exertion of your willpower to try to stay in control of this boat may wear you out. It may really exhaust you. I kind of get this sense of a backache. That it's just, it's kind of a lot of pressure where it can compress your spinal column, Now, this isn't a medical reading. I'm not a medical expert. No kind of medical advice here at all, okay? It could be a response to the stress. I read some book. It's talking about how most back pain is psychosomatic. It's a result of stress or overwork or, these sorts of, I guess, more mental or energetic things rather than a physical pathology, in our backs. I don't know how true that is. I'm no expert. I know that I've had back pain before. That's all I know. So I feel like this is becoming a lot for you. And I think since this is at the top of the path of the dove, that's kind of our focus now is on maybe the physical, vital energy exhaustion right now, right? I think it's kind of the forefront of your mind that this is just a lot. This is just becoming a little bit too much. Well, down beneath everything, we have a 5 of Swords. This is the psychosomatic part of it. This is the mental part of it. This is a lot of energy being spent thinking negative thoughts, right? And we just think, well, a thought is negative. It's a positive thought or a negative thought. What does it matter? It's just a thought, right? But I believe, and in my experience anyway, that the things that we think, how we think, what we think, the energy, tone, of our thoughts influences our physical reality. Influences our body for sure, right? Go through the day thinking a bunch of negative thoughts. By the end of the day, let me know how you feel. And then try it the other way around. Go through the day thinking positive thoughts. Let me know how you feel at the end of the day. We might still very well be physically exhausted, but our energy, our aura will be different. Okay? So, the 5 of Swords, I think, is the reminder that we need to flip this back around. We need to start with these positive affirmations, positive thinking. Yes, we're exhausted. Yes, this is a lot. It's frustrating, right? You're trying to maintain course using your willpower, and it's a lot. But we need to find, maybe write a list if you're a list maker. Make a list of some positive affirmations. Write some things down on some sticky notes and just put them around your workspace to remind you of positive things. Positive affirmations, they sound silly, but they really work magic. Mantras in, let's say Hindu philosophy have been around for thousands of years because people have understood that whatever you repeat to yourself becomes your reality. So people would repeat religious things, like I am one with God or God is deity. And eventually it'll become a reality, right? So whatever we tell ourselves over and over and over again will come to pass at some point. Within reason, I guess. It's all relative. So this is really about putting spirit back on top, right? Because the 5 here, it's spirit down here that's just being overwhelmed or covered up or trying to be concealed by the 4 elements, right? By all the challenges, all of our thoughts, all of our emotions, right? The way we feel physically, by the physical requirements and activities and responsibilities. Everything is just kind of, in some ways, crushing our spirit, right? We've all heard that kind of, that phrase, that expression. It's kind of a soul-crushing thing. It's really, really suppressing the spirit a little bit. So we need to put spirit back on top. We need to let spirit take the wheel. We need to flip this card upside down. Kind of like flipping your frown upside down. We've heard that before. It sounds silly, but it works. So if it works, who cares if it's silly, right? Anyway, I think this is a focus on, we're going to leave that card, what I think is right side up now. We're going to leave this card right side up so that we can remember why we're doing this, what our inspiration, what our motivation is, right? What that spiritual component is. What is that infinite factor that is unaffected by how you feel physically, that's unaffected by your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions, your responsibilities. It's something that transcends all of that. And that is the spiritual, the infinite factor, right? And maybe you're not a religious person, that's fine. Whatever that factor is that transcends those 4 elements, that transcends the kind of relative manifested duality that we have kind of down here on the horizontal plane. We have to put that back on top. If that's God, goddess, deity, guardian angel, spirit guides, the divine, spirit, if it is the absolute or the void or the nothingness or the universe, whatever it is, we need to put that back on top. We need to let that be the guiding principle of things, okay? We're getting a little long in this video, so we'll move to what's before you. What is the way forward? An 8 of wands, right? We have 8, 9, and the 10 of wands. So we're kind of going backwards a little bit, right? We're going from the extreme of the 10 back to a really strong willpower with the 9. Now we're kind of going to an 8. And the 8 for me is kind of, it gives a little bit of form to that fire energy. It is kind of about learning the right way to use all of that fire energy, right? Because the 8 here, it kind of looks, it's just energy that goes in every direction, right? You're just sending out 1,000 arrows and see if you'll hit something. You could do that. You could do that. But you have this 9. The 9 of wands is very, very strong and powerful, but really can go in one direction. We split that up into 8 directions or 80 directions. It loses power, right? It's dispersed. It's kind of, it dissipates. So we need to focus this down. We need to find the right application of all of this strong fire energy. And maybe through the positive affirmations, maybe through, understanding that this is kind of a blacksmithing process, a tempering of our spiritual will. We can just focus maybe on one thing at a time. Use our willpower to tackle one thing at a time and not get so worried. We have a lot of air energy here. There's a lot of worry, right? A lot of kind of thoughts that are just kind of swirling around. We keep thinking about all the things we have to do. Well, let's just start ticking things off the list. Let's focus on one at a time, give it an intense burst of energy, everything we've got, and get it done, right? And then go on to the next one, get it done. So it's swiftness, this card, the key word here. Let's get things done. Focus on one thing at a time until we're just checking things off our list. Not a lot of thought really needs to be involved in that. We could prioritize and then execute. And that brings us over here to the path of the serpent. I know this reading is getting long. This is the Princess of Discs in your general energy. This is you with the potential now to accomplish everything. I think we've learned a lot about how we work, right? What processes, what energies are involved in your creative process, in your creative work, in your plans, in this world creation that you're involved in. You now understand how to create anything that you put your mind to, right? This card is really pregnant with possibilities, like literally if you look at the card. And this figure is holding that Ace of Discs, and that is the seed for success, for whatever accomplishment, whatever it is that we're trying to do, is in seed form. So you're the farmer here, right? You are the agriculturalist. You have this seed, and you're walking around, you're finding the perfect spot, and you're planting it, and it's going to grow into this tremendous success because now you understand what processes are involved, how this thing works, how you work to create whatever these are seeds of, okay? And the thing with seeds, from what I'm learning, my wife has a very green thumb, me not so much, but I'm learning, is that nature plants 1 million seeds at once, just a ton of seeds. Only a couple are actually going to grow. So that is a little bit like this 8, right? This is energy going in 1 million directions, just see if something hits. That's kind of the way of nature, right? But maybe you're learning that you can help nature out a little bit. Now, I know that's a bold statement, But that's kind of the work of the alchemist. And this art or temperance card, this is the alchemy card. Okay. The alchemists look for ways to accelerate nature, to speed things up, to adhere to the natural laws and processes of Mother Nature, but to get it done a little faster, right? Because we're bringing in that other element, that human element, that divine element, whatever you want to call it. And we have that kind of deeper spiritual insight. Now we can choose the right kind of seeds and the right kind of soil and the right kind of conditions and environment for this thing to grow. We don't have to plant 1,000,000 seeds and just hope that one of them can sprout and take root. We can look for the most optimal circumstances and pick what seed is most likely to grow in that environment, see? And that's what I think you're doing. Okay. And that is going to require a lot of water. Here's the Hanged Man. This is in your environment. This is a lot of water. This is a lot of self-sacrifice. You know, you really are giving up a lot or making a lot of sacrifices personally to get this creative process going, to get this thing accomplished. You're really giving it everything that you have. And you're willing to be in this uncomfortable position temporarily because you know what you're working toward. So this is kind of a representation of the other side of this kind of blacksmithing, right? We've got in all of that fire. This is the water. This is the cooling off. This is the deep breath, the accepting, the surrendering, the giving into the process, right? Rather than making it worse by trying to fight against it, just let go a little bit and allow it to happen. It may not be the most comfortable procedure, but you're going to be better off when it's done, you know. So this is the emotional aspect of it too. You know, this is the intense activity by day, and then at night lying down and just kind of letting it all come out, right? Letting yourself feel the stress, feel everything that's going on surrounding this process, this project, whatever it is. I'm losing my voice. It's kind of, you know, being very outgoing during the day, doing all of your work, and then coming home and just kind of like letting yourself feel the weight of it, right? Let yourself feel exhausted. Take a hot bath and just like let it out, you know. If you got to cry, cry. You know, if you got to yell and scream, yell and scream. You don't want to hold that stuff in. This is the healing, this is the restoration and the recovery after that intense workout. In whatever way this is for you, if this is just, you know, relaxing, if this is having a good meal, making your favorite drink, making some kind of healing tonic, or taking the hot bath or hot shower, or if this is letting your emotions out, if this is going to your significant other or your best friend or your pets or your plants or whatever, and just letting it all come out, venting, right? Just expressing everything that during the day you've had to kind of hold in because you're maintaining this control. So we have to have this water component is what I'm saying. And we also have a 6 of Cups. This is the water. This is the expression of the water that now creates this kind of peace, right? This is the healing. This is the water that you kind of get dipped in the foundry, in the blacksmith's workshop, you know. You're so intensely heated, and then you get dunked into the water, and it sizzles and steams and everything. And this is the result. This is the peace and the harmony afterwards, you know. And then, of course, we know we got to go through the process again. Yeah, it's, you know, I think you go in and out of the fire many times until the metal is just right. But I think that if we embrace this process, then it will create a bit of a peaceful state, right? This is the process of the intense activity, the cooling down or the unwinding at the end, and this is the good night's sleep, you know? This is the peace and the rest. knowing that we'll have to wake up tomorrow and do it all over again. But by the end of the night, we are peaceful and serene and calm, and we feel good. Right? And this is true rest and restoration. And this is the state of your body, your muscles healing from all of that activity, and then the cool down, the recovery, and this is the really good feeling after that. And finally, we see the Ace of Discs. Now, this is the agriculturist, the farmer planting those seeds, but you know exactly what environment and what seeds to plant at what time of year. So you're working with nature, but you've just kind of optimized your approach to those natural processes. Okay, we're not working against nature here. So this really is the potential for all of your creation. This is the beginning of your world. It kind of looks, from far away, it looks like a world. From up close, it kind of looks like a seed that's starting to sprout, and roots and everything are starting to come out of it. So you're creating your world, and this really is, it's the end of the path of the serpent here, So this is what we're working toward. We're working toward getting this thing in the ground, right? We've got to get it planted already. It's time. I'm very excited for you. I'm curious too. I kind of want to know what you're planting, but I understand if you want to kind of keep that under wraps for now. Let's look at the mystery card. What could it be? I don't have much of a speculation. We had so much great energy already that I don't know what I would even expect this to be. Maybe the Empress. Maybe a 3 of something. I think a 3 of discs would be nice. Well, let's just take a look. Oh, it's the 7 of discs. Okay, so we've got more of the agricultural metaphor going on. After we plant this seed, we're going to want immediate results. We're going to want things to just, I put it in the ground, I come out tomorrow morning and the thing's going to be 7 feet tall. It doesn't work that way. You've got to tend the garden constantly. You've got to go out every day and be like, it didn't grow at all. But we'll keep watering it and weeding it and saying positive things to it, and I'll come back again tomorrow and check on you. Eventually, you're going to find that you're in this beautiful garden, but day to day, in the moment, it's going to seem like nothing's really happening. And that is the perception of failure. That's not really a failure. The key word for the 7 of discs or pentacles is failure, but it's a false perception, right? It's that idea that, oh, I don't see the results right now in front of me. I must have failed. This must have not worked. But what we don't know is that the growth, like any kind of growth really, is sort of imperceptible. Like, every day I wake up, I look at my daughter. She doesn't look much taller than yesterday. I mean, okay, sometimes she really does. But generally, she doesn't look different day to day. But when I look at a picture of how she looked a month ago or a year ago, huge, crazy difference, right? She's 3, or she'll be 3 in a little while here. So it's that growth that's imperceptible, but just because we can't see it literally growing, it's like watching grass grow, It's just like you think the grass is fake because it's not moving, but sure enough, you come back on Sunday, you're going to have to mow it again, So this is about expectations, and this is about really being aware of the reality of the situation and managing why you're doing this. You're not doing it to just like witness the thing grow and to have immediate results. You're looking to build something that's sustainable. You want a garden that's growing strong and beautiful, not just like put a flower here and it's fine, but you bought it at the store. It's not something that you grew, You don't want something ready-made. You want this to grow and be long-lasting. And that's the 7 of discs here. Anyway, this went pretty long. We're going to do an extended real quick. If you want to watch it, click here. Thank you for letting me read for you. Thank you for Thank you for being here, for watching these videos, and for supporting the channel. I really appreciate you. Hit the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you again very soon.